Thank you, folks, for being here. It looks like we got a pretty good turnout. I will open the meeting here in just a moment, but just to kind of give you an idea, during our citizens' comments, Chief Schulte over here to my left will be the official timekeeper, so everybody has their 3 minutes of fame, and he'll kind of guide us on that. So if he gives you one or two or three fingers, he's not trying to be ugly, I promise. Yeah. Okay, it's 6 o'clock, and I do call this meeting to order. And the first matter on the agenda is announcements and citizens' comments. This is opportunity for members of the public to suggest in the addition of topics for the discussion of or to address topics of interest with the presentation limited to 3 minutes. All speakers will conduct themselves in an orderly and lawful manner. All speakers will be recognized prior to speaking and will announce their name and address to be included in the minutes. State law prohibits the mayor and members of city council from commenting on any statement or engaging in dialogue without an appropriate agenda item being posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Law. So we're starting with that. We've got a list here. We've got quite a few people, so we'll start off. If you'll please come up to the microphone, state your name and address, and that'd be Mike Hankins. You're the first one.
How about now? Okay. My name is Mike Hankins, and my address is confidential. I live on Tadnern Road. I am not on social media. I don't have a Facebook account, nothing. I used to have an account with the amateur radio, which I filled out as retired now, took everything off. So I've never watched a video from the Morgan's Point site, and during the last meeting, I had no idea what was going on when people were making comments. Although I have a comment, I've taken many leadership classes in my 41 years of working before I retired. And in every leadership class, they say, in public, congratulate your people that do a good job, give you awards in public like the police department and the fire department does. But if you want to criticize somebody or chew them out, do it in private. And after the last meeting, I thought I need to mention that. If you get an email from somebody, send back, I've received your message, if you don't want to comment, so they know you got it. Everybody has First Amendment rights to talk. Everybody has a boss that they're supposed to go through their chain of command. But that's all I have to say. Thank you. And you guys are doing a great job. We have a city council who actually checks what's going on instead of rubber stamping. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Matt, your turn. Who's going to time you? Oh, okay. Okay.
Loose. All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. During the public comment portion of the City Council meeting on August 8, 2023, I formally requested hiring an additional police officer for the 2023-2024 fiscal year based on your recommendation. Before discussing and approving the 2023-2024 fiscal year budget tonight, I respectfully remind you of my request.
Thank you, sir. Jeff, I know you're the third one on there. I know you're here. There you are.
Yeah, Jeff Davison, 49 Stirrup Drive. You know, watching the budget meeting online, watching what happened at the last council meeting, I'm really saddened at the performance of our council, the lack of leadership it's providing. You hired a leader in Dalton, and Dalton has exhibited a lot of leadership, strong leadership. And the council has come in trying to micromanage a leader. You do not micromanage a leader. You give him the goalpost to play in, and then you get out of the way and let him do his job, which is not what's going on. since the day one the council came in, they've been active. Well, every time I see a very active government, especially early on, it means bad things are probably happening because they really don't know what's going on. And if you listen to the council meeting last week, without fail, everyone said, we don't know our job for a year until we get all the training and what have you. Everyone said, hey, it's a year before we know what we can do. Well, guess what? You'll show to come in, sit on your hands, listen, spend a lot of time with the subject matter expert, Dalton, lots of time, not just 30 minutes here and there, but tremendous amount of time learning the job, especially since nobody here had been on a council. But that's not what happened. It's just been come in, and you saw what happened on the budget committee. I know y'all are going to be talking to Dalton in executive session today about keeping his job. We kind of got an idea what's going on because it's all over the newspapers. But y'all are really messing up what appears to be trying to get rid of Dalton, and he is the best city manager Morgan's Point's ever had. He's a leader. He takes care of his people, and that's what you want. And that's all I'm going to say.
Andrea, your turn.
Much. Now, the other side of the story, I really appreciate this city council. I appreciate you taking your time, not being rubber stamped, run over by some jargon and numbers and mumble jumble and nickel and diming. I appreciate you taking your time. We will give you time to learn so you can actually do a good job instead of allowing some random administration to wreak havoc at this city. Thank you very much. I love you. Please keep on doing what you've been doing.
Melanie Bishop, there you are.
Good evening, everyone. Melanie Bishop, 34 Canyon Circle. I have lived in the Temple Belton area since I was small. Both of my parents and also my grandparents lived in here until their passing. I have witnessed many changes and growth over the past 40 years. As a registered voter and citizen of Morgan's Point, I believe that collectively we have a responsibility to care for our community and neighbors. As of late, disheartening comments have been made on public display through social media and made by some who may be here tonight to place blame on the newly elected city council. Each and every council member was in fact voted into their position by citizens of Morgan's Point Resort. They were sworn in on May 9th and have continued to navigate the last few months with integrity. Morgan's Point Resort is governed by a mayor, council manager government. The city manager is hired by the council. The mayor and the city council acting together are the governing body. All governing body members serve 2 terms. The governing body, being elected representatives of the people, adopts all ordinances, resolutions, and determines the general goals and policies. It is my belief all elected representatives are invested and dedicated to keeping our community the wonderful place we call home. I would encourage my fellow citizens to ask questions of concern in a respectful manner with the hope of keeping the betterment of our community the focus, to find ways that allow for positive change versus making disparaging comments about individuals or groups that may simply be rumors. Make informed decisions working toward a better together mindset for the well-being of Morgan's Point Resort residents. Each city council member is new in their role. And with all new positions, regardless of industry, there is a learning curve. Many comments have been made of city council meetings having the highest attendance rate, longest agendas, and have logged the most amount of time for city council meetings, workshops, and special sessions. Seems as if the city council has been drinking from a fire hose these last few months and yet continue to persevere in the roles they were elected to do in serving. Change is not something that happens overnight, but by working together, sharing ideas, and lifting one another up, we can turn adversity into opportunity for transformation. This is our home. Thank you to our mayor, city council, city staff, and volunteers. Blessed are the peacemakers.
Thank you, Melanie, appreciate that. Jason? There you are.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm up here representing my neighborhood. I live on North Wynkoop. I got a packet for each one of y'all. I'm asking for an amendment to the noise ordinance for actually define our noise ordinance. We have, you can talk to your city mayor. There's some wording in there that leaves way too much gray area in here, and even our law enforcement is actually backing me to be here tonight. Multiple officers are been in my house and our neighbors' houses. We need to go in here and actually look at the state penal code, look at the Bell County ordinances, look at the actual readings, and adopt those definitions into our city ordinance. That's all I have tonight. I'll leave it for y'all to, y'all have enough work to do. Y'all can read that on your own later that night. So, but go off recommendation of your chief.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Paul, Santa Claus, come on. I can say that because I've only known him about 60 years, maybe
There
70.
you go. 60 good years, actually. Thanks, everyone, for being here. I'm Paul Smith. We live at Cliffwood Circle, our little paradise on the lake. I'm here to support the city council, police department. Anybody that says that we are a speed trap, they need to slow down. That's all I can say. They need to slow down. It's not Nolanville like it used to be. But anyway, I am here to support everybody that's setting up in these tables. The reason I'm up here is Ronnie Snow made a comment at not the last meeting, but the meeting before last. And he said that this council does more pre-preparation before they come in here than the other council did, where they just show up with the minutes and they read them 5 minutes before the meeting starts. That to me says they are trying their best to learn and trying their best to do the best for our city. Also, we've all had a new job. Nervous as can be that first several days, even months and years. So let's give them a chance to do their job. I do feel like a staggered election could help. The folks that were already here could help mentor the new council members. But anyway, thank you. We've got to stay united for one cause. No people involved. We've got to be for Morgan's Point Resort. That's united we stand, divided we fall.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. I have a request here from Misty Ballard. She was not able to attend, but she did ask somebody to stand in. Oh, where you at? Oh, well, then it's your turn. When you hide back there, it's hard to see you there.
Sorry, I was trying to take a nap. Tonight was Meet the Teacher night, and I totally forgot because I forget a lot of stuff. But sometimes I feel like an idiot coming up here. I'm Misty Ballard at 2 Admiral Circle because I'm thinking y'all probably don't want to hear anything I have to say anyway. It's not like if she only had a brain sort of thing. But I'm going to do it anyway because my mom always said what she wanted to. So I did write it down this time so I don't get pissed off and go on a rampage. I apologize. There's no reason to repeat what has already been said. Do you have a good city manager? Yes. Is he perfect? Probably not. Is he respected by those that have actually worked with him? Mostly, yes. I'm sure there's some people who are not going to agree with that. That's always going to happen. Now, what about you as city council? Did you take on an easy position? No, because I sure as shooting wouldn't want it. There is no way. I'd have a headache every week. Are you going to make everyone happy? Never. But could this have been better? Yes. Could you have genuinely come on and worked with the staff in place? It doesn't seem that way. Could you have actually worked with the city manager and volunteers? You could have, but that's not what it seems like you've done. No matter how much you nod or smile, it doesn't change the sinking morale that not just of the city manager, but of many employees and involved city as a whole. It's just not the same as it was before. For many of those actively involved in Morgan's Point Resort, you have people deciding this may not be the place for them. Good people. You're making it hard for people to remember that their home is still a nice place to live. I don't think that this is going to change whatever it is that you're wanting to do right now, but someone should tell you. And you should know that if Dalton leaves, these problems don't leave with the city manager. These problems stay here in the Morgan's Point Resort because right now you're not working together. You're not working with us. And I really, really, really would like to see that change.
Thank you, Misty. Lynn, I know you're here. Oh, there you are.
Lynn Milam, 28 Morgan's Point Boulevard. I got about 8 sheets again here, but I'm going to pick and choose, yeah. But this is all mine. This is all me, so I can't blame anybody else for it. I work a lot, so these last few workshops I haven't been able to be here like I usually am. I've been watching them at home. And so the time that y'all are putting in, so are we. We're doing our due diligence. We're watching 14 hours, 14 and a half hours, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, coming to see one. We're doing the same thing. We're trying to be educated here. And August 7th, they all bothered me. Don't get me wrong, they all bothered me. But August 7th, it broke me. I'm a volunteer, and it broke me. And there's a lot of other volunteers that are broken, and I'm about to start crying. But somebody told me that means you really care about this town. But my gibba-dam is almost busted. August 7th, you sat right. First of all, I'm going to agree with what your wife said. This isn't a home rule town. The mayor, and really the council, mayor doesn't have a vote, but he just, he or she, whoever it is, sits up there. And the council is the final straw. You come at Dalton and Cary like they invented being behind on audits. They didn't. They came in here and you were already 2 years behind. This previous council was 2 years behind. But did you see them ragging on Andrew and digging at his throat and all that kind of stuff? They didn't seem like they cared. But now, as soon as he walks in here, you find out he's not a yes man, and he's got to go. He's got to go. And you can't very well take care of what's happening now and the future until you take care of the past, what was left for him, the crap that was left for him. I've heard numerous times through these last workshops of how many things they're trying to get done legally or bring it up to code or bring it up to this or bring it up to that. It seems like we were behind on everything. Just everything. Oh, okay. I'm like, what? Anyway, so it is the council's responsibility to make sure those audits get done. It was, and he came in to 2 years behind. 2 years. And then, August 7th, still, you sat over there and said, as soon as Dalton walked out, you said, and you looked like you was pleased as punch, Mr. Bishop, that, I knew he was going to walk out. Immediately picked up your phone, texted somebody, and you just looked proud as punch. Then y'all start, once Cary comes in here and tries to take a bad situation and make it better, he asks for a placeholder. His words exactly, because trust me, I've listened to it 5 times. His words were, can I have a placeholder? And that was about the secretary's position. And then councilperson Allen immediately interrupted and said, let's take a vote now. And then it was voted on, and then you voted your exact words, I'm a no for now. And then as soon as Mr. Pat got his 2 cents in, then you yelled back, but no one is going to force my hand, Cary, and that's what you just did. And you said, yes. People in other cities, for what you did, have gotten taken off of council.
Good evening, Donna Hartman, 112 Great West Loop. First off, I want to thank the staff for the job that they did getting this budget together. I know you spent many hours with it. I know you have a new and eager council that wanted to learn so much about this. And so I know it took some extraordinary time on the part of our staff, and I really appreciate you, and I know they do too. I want to thank the council for the hours, and hours of work. We're not talking about just regular meetings. I'm talking about special meetings, executive meetings, workshop meetings, going to seminars and workshops to educate yourself. And most of you have spent countless hours in the city manager's office and also with Cary. And I appreciate y'all doing that as you learn your jobs. Council, you promised you would be open and transparent, and that you would put in the hard work, and you have, and I appreciate that. I'm on my tippy toes, this is so high. Some people may say you talk a lot, But isn't that the way we're open and transparent? I know I talked a lot, and that's what I was trying to be, letting the people know what I thought and what my opinions were, and I appreciate that. You have supported every request, almost every request of the city manager. 46% increase in our health care premiums because the staff wanted that policy, $116,000. Their dependent care was going to go up exponentially. For a year, you said, let's help subsidize for the employees, and you did that. You increased salaries and employees' pay. You granted those raises. The city manager came to you and said, I want to replace the grant position to a financial position. You supported him on that. Our fire chief came and said he needed a new fire specialist. You supported them on that. You also, the chief of police, requested he needs some additional help with his load, and you sat down and you visited and tried to come up with solutions to help lighten that load for him. I think you've done an amazing job with our staff. Okay. I asked the community to give the city council a chance. They've been here 90 days, 90 days. The attacks on emails and the personal attacks on their character, I think we can do better than that. Get to know them. Go face to face. Go grab a cup of coffee with them. You know, that way you can have conversations with them. You may not agree with every decision they made, but can we please treat each other the way that we would like to be treated in this community? City Manager Dalton, I think the hearing today, it will show us your character, and I hope you will use this hearing to heal our community. I've spent 32 years on the city council, worked with numerous councils, and I can tell you, you may be matched, but you're unsurpassed in the dedication you have shown to this community. Council, keep your heads high, your hearts and minds open, and please be forgiving. Your actions will speak louder than their words. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Jim Am.
Jim Ann Durkee, 54 South Cliffwood Circle. I'm going to speak about staggered terms again. There's a definite need for Morgan's Point Resort to go into staggered terms for City Council sooner rather than later. According to my research, staggered terms reduce the power of voting blocks, special interest groups, or political action committees to stage a takeover of city government at a single election. They reduce the possibility that voter wrath over a single controversial issue will cause a drastic shift in city leadership. I think it is in the best interest of citizens of Morgan's Point Resort that staggered terms be instated as soon as possible in order to maintain continuity in our city after the new council learns the ins and outs of city government. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, that brings us to the end of citizens' comments. We will now go into our regular agenda, which is a public hearing on a proposed budget for our fiscal year 2023-24. It is open now to comment. Does anybody like to speak up? I'll recognize them. Andrea, you sure the first? You can come up there if you want.
One more time. I'm sorry, such an exciting day. I didn't have time to look over the budget actually, but I mentioned it last time. Since you're funded primarily by taxes, and taxes are sales taxes, if you adopt the budget, and should there be anything in it for the EDC, I would like you to seriously look over the EDC. So the EDC is an instrumentality of the city, not a 501c4 that can use taxpayer money, probably illegal, to support political candidates and political causes, just in case some of the tax money goes to the EDC. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I was going to say the budget, this council did spend a lot of hours on the budget. I'll give them that. There's probably not a line on the budget that wasn't examined. And if you're interested in the budget, it is online. It's lengthy, but it's online. So if you have a question or want to find out more about it and have nothing to do to help you fall asleep tonight, look at that budget, and it'll help you out. So anybody else like to make any comments on there? Leon?
I just want to say, I'm all for brush bins and paying for them. I'm all for it. I appreciated y'all what you said about that because I checked with the local people that here that facilitate that same kind of need, and they charge about $150 a truckload. So I'm all for it because the brush bin costs money for y'all, the truck costs money, the person driving the truck costs money, the gas costs money, getting rid of it costs money, all of that costs money. And so I'd like to know that there was a brush bin there if I needed it. You know, I've got a trailer, but not everybody does. But so it only makes sense to not go in the hole when you could be making money for that. And with that being said, I'm going to say it again about the marina. It only makes sense if you can make money off of something. It seems like all of y'all would want to make money. Maybe another whole, the city secretary that Matt actually wanted. These cops do so much stuff, and they get no help, really. I mean, anyway, it could possibly fund another position and not be coming out of y'all's pockets, or our pockets, because we're taxpayers too. But if it only makes sense if you can make more money, make it for your people. And this stuff about, oh, when the thing burnt down, or blew down from the thing, you didn't live here then. You didn't live here then. I didn't live here then. Not you, I didn't say you. You don't have a horse in that race. Yeah, you don't have a horse in the race or a boat in the slip. But I can tell you what, I've heard Councilman Allen's husband get up here and say, oh, that's a perk for people. And that keeps 154 trailers off. But you know what? If you drive around and look, we stopped counting at 600 trailers in the city. That's when we stopped. We didn't drive any further. And I'm sure, and I counted the two that's in my front yard, which is a boat and a trailer. And then I've got a lot over at Ronnie Snow's place that's got jet skis in it, and then I pay $197 for one over here at 317. 1 minute. So if I'd gladly pay $182 for your slip.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Lynn. Anybody else have any comments? In that case, I'm going to bring the public hearing to a close. And it's at 6:26, the public hearing. Now, council, I'm open up a discussion and consider adoption of the proposed budget for fiscal year 23-24. And if you'd like Carrie to say, make a comment or two, we could, or Dalton.
I make a motion to open for discussion.
Okay. I know we spent a lot of time on it, so you should be well versed on it.
Do I need a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
Is Carrie here?
She's here.
Oh, hey. So I just want to make a motion. We've reviewed the budget. Carrie came up with a list summarized for us of all the changes that we all agreed to, and he's ready to put these in the budget and stamp our budget done for now, if we can vote on it. If you want to take a few minutes, you've had this sheet for about a week or so, but if you want to take a few minutes and look at it, then I suggest we move on and adopt the budget.
Yeah, I'd like to, the only thing, or the biggest thing that I would like to discuss, just to throw back out there again, is, you know, our police chief has asked us to reconsider, in this case, another officer. In no less than 3 opportunities, we as a council said that we would support that over his administrator. So I think it is incumbent upon us. We owe that man, we owe the police department, we owe our citizens a solid decision. Are we going to support a police officer? Are we going to support an administrator? Are we not going to support either?
Yeah, I'll speak up because I thought that we talked to Matt about, he's going to come up with a job description and, you know, duties, and this budget is not in cement, that in the fall, that you would come back to us with a request and we would consider a budget amendment for it. So I had just misunderstood the next step on that. So that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, the only confusion I have is, Neil, I thought, and I may be off base, but I thought you said previously that we cannot ratify a budget knowing that we are expecting a budget amendment. Is that the case? If we know we're going to put forth a budget amendment, or is it something we can do further down the road?
Okay.
Okay, with that being cleared up, we have a motion and a second. We have discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. By the way, Roxanne had to be out of town this week, so that we're missing her, but we do have a quorum.
And I think it takes 4 to pass the budget, so it would have
Right,
taken
we're
all of
there,
us
yeah.
to vote yes in order
Now,
for it
since
to pass.
since we passed it, I need to ratify it, so do I hear a motion to ratify the budget?
I'll motion to ratify.
Second.
Any discussion on that? It's a technicality we just have to do for the state, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to go back on the record again. Chief, we as a council will hold our feet to that. That's something that we are not going to I'm not going to let that die. Let's see.
Our next meeting?
Yeah, we'll see you next month.
It's September 8th or something? Yes, I think we all agree we want to consider, but we just need some information on it.
Okay, next thing on the agenda is convene to executive session.
I make a motion that we table that item and the rest of the agenda.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion, yes.
Do I hear a second?
Neil, on the rules on that, does it just take one person to table the agenda, or does it take a motion in a second? Okay.
So, okay, motion's been made, no second. The motion dies for lack of second. We will convene to executive session. Folks, I hate to ask you to leave, but sorry. Yeah. Oh, right. While you're there. Consider it open.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion.
Yes, sir?
We table the last two items on the agenda.
Your motion to table the last two items on the agenda?
Yes.
Second.
There is, okay, second, whoever wants it.
The public hearing can't be tabled based off state statute 551.074 if you guys convene an executive session.
Any, all in favor?
Aye.
Three, and one, and Jim abstains. Okay, on that, that motion passes. We will push everything out back to a later date. The last two items, now do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes to